Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5
Five time.
of A Hardy Conversation. As always, I am Sean Hardy,
And I am Chris Hardy.
and we are here to bring you all the goings on in the world of professional wrestling. First up, we're going to talk to you a little bit about Impact because I was told by a good buddy of mine, the Lady Killer, that the episode .5 that we did a couple of weeks ago was just too much TNA talk. We need to make sure we cut back on it, so here's what I got to say about Impact this past week. If you like the Main Event Mafia, you enjoyed Impact. If you don't like the Main Event Mafia, you were probably bored because it was a best of the Main Event Mafia scenario. The one good thing that I like is that Angle is now back to being the Godfather where he should be because Angle is far and away the better wrestler and more charismatic than Sting. Sting's got the legacy and the history in the business, but Angle is the better talker, bar none.
Sting
They've
is not,
also...
Sting is not a legacy.
He has a legacy. He's
Oh,
not
has a
in legacy.
Oh,
Okay. Second thing I liked about the Main Event Mafia storyline is that they've now got Scott Steiner teaming up with Booker Ray. Respectively, each man comprises half of one of the greatest tag teams in history. Of course, Scotty Steiner, half of the Steiner brothers in the early to mid-90s. Awesome tandem before Scotty started doing roids. Booker T, of course, one half of Harlem Heat with his brother Stevie Ray. Awesome tag team in WCW before Booker broke off, went solo, and became the five-time WCW champion, sucker.
Now can you dig that?
Yes, I can. You've also got Sharmell and Jenna feuding with each other within the Mafia to determine who the Supreme Diva is. Whatever. Sharmell, you're ugly. Get over yourself.
True. It's damn true.
So, that was about it on Impact. Samoa Joe has, in fact, joined the Mafia. That should be interesting to see how they're going to do with a young guy that doesn't really have a whole lot of main event experience in the Main Event Mafia, unless he's going to be their enforcer a la Arn Anderson back in the old Horseman days. So stay tuned to Impact to see what goes on with the Mafia, since it seems like that's about all they focus on these days. Smackdown was kind of lackluster this past week. Shelton Benjamin versus R-Truth. Awesome opening contest. Good way to start it off. Unfortunately, that feud's not going to amount to much more since Shelton got traded. We'll discuss that in a little bit. The other match of the night was John Morrison versus CM Punk. And I don't understand why JR tried to make this match seem like it would be an upset if John Morrison won. They kept trying to say that this would be the biggest win of John Morrison's career if he could beat CM Punk. John Morrison has always had CM Punk's number. Rewind a couple years ago, Night of Champions for the vacant ECW title when a certain somebody no-showed because of personal issues. Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. John Morrison, beat Punk for the ECW title. Morrison has always owned Punk. End of story. So I don't know why they kept trying to play it off like it's going to be this upset. John Morrison, as far as I know, has never lost to CM Punk in one-on-one competition.
Well, CM Punk did beat Morrison for the title, so maybe once or twice. But we'll have our good buddy Squeak check that out for us. And
Squeak?
Yeah, Squeak.
You're talking about Stat Boy, the LB kid?
Yes.
Okay, Stat Boy. Squeak, what the heck? Stat Boy, look into that for us. Let us know exactly how many times CM Punk has beaten John Morrison, because I'd be willing to bet they're barely two handfuls. And Morrison, like I said, has owned Punk. Which brings us to the Bash. Chris, why don't you take us to the Bash this past Sunday night?
The Bash had a couple surprises. We have new tag team champions, which are Edge and Jericho. I like this a little bit. I mean, Edge, I think, is now a 12 or 13-time tag team champion.
Don't get too deep into the Edge and Jericho thing. We actually have a question about that. Going to be a little bit later.
But I do like Edge being a tag team champion. We have a new women's champion, Michelle McCool, which you will have a big rant on in a few minutes.
Make sure you stay tuned for that one.
CM Punk retained, but Jeff Hardy won because CM Punk is a big doucheball and wants to get himself disqualified because, ooh, ow, my eye, please don't let Jeff Hardy beat me for the title again. So he got himself disqualified. Randy Orton retained in 3 stages of hell. As you said before, Tommy Dreamer retained his ECW championship. So overall, I think it was a decent Great American Bash, and John Cena did beat The Miz.
And Chris Jericho lost his Intercontinental title to Rey Mysterio.
Yes. So Jericho wrestled twice, lost title, won a title. So
that seems to be the WWE's pattern this year, is win a title, lose a title, like really quickly. Back in No Way Out, Edge lost his title in the first chamber match, won a title in the second chamber match.
Yeah.
Jericho loses the IC title, gains a tag title. WWE just seems to be on this little pattern lately, so you need to get off of that pattern real quick, WWE, before it becomes too predictable, like the rest of your programming.
Alright, now on to Raw. Raw was very interesting with the 15 superstar trade, which I have right on my cell phone. Alright, we have Mark Henry, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, Alicia Fox, and Gail Kim going to Raw. We have Shelton Benjamin, Goldust, William Regal, and the Bella Twins going to ECW. And we have Matt Hardy going back to SmackDown after, like, what, 2 weeks on Raw. Finlay and the Hart Dynasty on SmackDown. Now, I like some of these moves. I mean, ECW lost 7 superstars, and now there's this whole kick of let's bring some rookies in here. We have a Rock, Chris Tucker, MVP wannabe, in Elijah Washington.
Abraham Washington.
Oh, sorry, Denzel, whatever Washington he wants to call himself. And we have a new Japanese Tachiri guy, you know, going on here.
And then you've got Sheamus, the Irish powerhouse, who looks like they could do something good with him. It just sucks that they brought him in after they moved Finlay, because Finlay and him could have made a dynamite tag team.
Yeah.
With the experienced vet teaching the rookie the ways around there. Could have been a force to seriously be reckoned with.
And then we have Tyler Rex, which none of us know who he is. So we'll see on Superstars when he wrestles the woo man, Zack Ryder. Yeah, whatever. But overall, you know, Hart Dynasty going to SmackDown. It's a
very good movie.
Yeah, very good movie. I would like to see them on Raw join up with Legacy. They have a huge fashion, but we'll see where that goes.
I still think that by putting them on SmackDown, you could kind of set up the franchise idea that I discussed a couple episodes ago, where you got one part of Legacy on one show, one part of the Legacy on another show, merge them at a pay-per-view or like Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know, that would be very interesting.
And we have Shelton Benjamin and William Regal going to ECW. So I could see 2 new ECW champions throughout the pan of the year, whatever.
They seriously need to push Shelton and Regal. They've been floundering in mid-card hell for way too long.
I would say Shelton first, because he's never been a world champion, and he can do some amazing stuff on ECW. So I would say him first.
Well, Regal has never been a major world champion either. I mean, they said on ECW he's had like 60 world championships, but I don't think any of those are really a heavyweight championship.
No.
Regal doesn't have too many good years left in him. They need to give him the belt before he retires. Just, you know, they're never going to give him the WWE or World Heavyweight title.
No.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But give him the ECW title. Let him have a nice little run with it, maybe into Mania. Have him lose it to somebody like Shelton, and then he can go on about his merry way. That's it for the first part of A Hardy Conversation. We will be right back with part 2 after this.